I will tell you a dozen of cool, crazy, and just weird things that Tesla owners have come to love, even though most people don't even know they exist or even think to consider them as perks in a car. Let's see which ones you like and which ones are just too odd, and we're gonna start right now. Welcome to E4 Electric. If you are interested in everything that's going on in the world of Tesla and electric cars, you came to the right place. So hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. Tesla has been by far the most exciting car company in the world in the last decade, leading the entire industry into electric age. It has innovated a whole new generation of cars, including things that people have either never seen before or didn't even know they would actually like. Here's a dozen of them in no particular order. Beta software has always been something that people knew to use with caution and on their own risk. Beta means that the software engineers that have created it have not fully tested it and are not 100% sure it won't blow up your laptop or your cell phone. So most people wouldn't touch it with a 6-foot pole simply because most of them like their laptops and their cell phones, not blown up. So you would assume that beta software that runs on cars while driving you would definitely have no one interested in such high-risk human trials, and yet many Tesla owners jump through many hoops to get their hands on Tesla's full self-driving feature, which is very much in beta. Number 2. Now, most people prefer to have the most important information about their car, like the speed or the state of charge, in their line of sight on the instrumental panel, which is the display behind the steering wheel, and now with the head-up displays out there literally projecting it onto the road. But Tesla has decided to change that to be able to make their Model 3 more affordable and removed the instrumental panel altogether, moving the basic information like speed to the central display that is much further away from the driver's line of sight. And yet, most Model 3 and Model Y drivers would tell you it doesn't bother them at all. Number 3, people hate dealerships, right? Well, yes, when it comes to buying a car, but all of a sudden it's your favorite place on earth when you need to take that car for a service. But Tesla has decided that we don't need those annoying things, and instead they put out showrooms for people to see the cars but not really buy them. More on that a little later. Both Tesla and their customers rave about it all the time. However, Tesla had to build out service centers as a completely separate chain of locations, often not being able to keep up with the demand. Plus, nowadays, the deliveries get rescheduled all the time, including sometimes on the day off, which frustrates people more than your typical car buying experience at a dealership. Now, the next very interesting thing that Tesla has pioneered, we have all been accustomed to, just not in cars. So it's very unique, and I'll tell you all about it in just a second, but before that, a quick reminder that this video is brought to you by EV Charge for You. Do you live in an apartment or a condo complex in the San Francisco Bay Area and have trouble convincing the management or the HOA to get your own EV charger installed? Well, with the load management box from EV Charge for You, you can now install the charger of your choice, all without worrying about additional or hidden fees to get charged. Find out how by using the link in the description of this video. Number 4. Back in 2012, we were used to our smartphones getting smarter, getting new user interfaces, or a bunch of new features via over-the-air updates, but never a car. But Tesla has changed that and announced in its early existence that Tesla cars would get better on their own as the software updates would be pushed to the cars just like they do with smartphones. However, much like with the smartphones, sometimes the updates made the car better, but sometimes worse. The biggest rollback of Tesla's features has come when the autopilot-enhanced Teslas have started requiring their drivers to keep their hands on the steering wheel. Number 5, the frunk, which is a combination of the words front and trunk. Clever. I used to really freak people out when I would open up a hood of my Tesla, offering them to check out the engine, just to see their jaws drop when they realized there was nothing there. I felt like David Copperfield making the engine disappear. However, the frunk has been proven to be more of a gimmick for a lot of people rather than a practical feature. Many car designers argue that any EV that has a frunk has to sacrifice the space in the trunk, thus splitting what could have been a large continuous storage space into two smaller pieces. Number 6. Now, remember how I talked about how Tesla doesn't have any dealerships and only showrooms where you can't really buy one of their cars? Well, that's because you can only buy a Tesla online. Back in the day, we only used to buy books and CDs online, and even then we were really scared of what would happen to our credit card numbers, remember? Well, times have changed. Now we're buying cars online directly from their makers. Now, the problem with this, and this goes to the whole no dealership thing we've talked about earlier, is that when you get the car delivered to your home, there is no one there to give you the tour and explain to you how things work. There is literally a service out there, and they're one of our sponsors, called Driven, that goes out to Tesla owner houses to train them in how to use their new Teslas, a service that any non-Tesla dealership provides for free. Of course, after keeping you there for 5 hours waiting for the service manager to print out the paperwork on a printer, then somehow only that dealership and an antique shop down the street for some reason still have in a building. Number 7. What comes with buying your Tesla online is that there is no haggling. There is no, let me talk to my manager so I can get you a better deal, but just for you, there's no button for that. There is only one price and one button. You either push it and get yourself a car, or you don't get a Tesla. Tesla owners love that because they say there is no dealership markup that they have to deal with. Now, of course, Tesla has raised prices on their own a dozen of times in just the last 12 months, with some models going up in price by more than $10,000. So either way, you're paying more. And where that money goes to the dealership or to Elon Musk, does it really matter? Number 8. The only way how electric cars are still not better than gas cars yet is the amount of time it takes to refuel them. Even the fast charging is not that fast and usually takes from half an hour to an hour. And who likes to sit in a car for that long for something that it takes a gas car only 3 minutes? Well, actually, a lot of Tesla owners do. Many Tesla supercharger locations have become hangout spots for Tesla fans who get out of their cars and socialize with other Tesla fans. Plus, Tesla have a large screen in every single car where people can watch Netflix, play games, and more importantly, watch YouTube. Number 9. Another thing that used to be cool, or maybe still cool in some parts of the world, especially in the man's world, was to rev the engine and make the sound of the goo that we get from under the ground and blow up a million times under the hoods. Good times, gentlemen. Well, Tesla made the opposite cool. The silence. Not only is just great to ride in a car that doesn't give you a headache, but the fastest cars in the world are now silent.
Oops, late start. 30, 60. Father, got it. Woo!
Another thing that Tesla made pretty much useless is the start-stop button. You see, the car is technically always on because unlike an engine, an electric motor does not need to be running in order to have the car ready to go. Every Tesla is always at your service, whether you're inside of it, outside of it, or a mile away. Another thing of the past is the key or the key fob. I got these at the antique shop down the street, right next to this phone. Anyway, there is really no reason to carry an extra bulge in your pants unless you want to. Your phone is now your car key. Of course, because it's not perfect, many Tesla owners have reported that it doesn't really work as well, which creates a bigger problem that it solves, but as with any technology, things are always improving. And finally, last but not least, number 12, the car app. Now, who would have thought that we would have apps in the first place on our phones, much less an app for our car? What a time to be alive. Honestly, one of the reasons I fell in love with Tesla back in 2012, when they weren't even for sale yet, was the fact that I knew there would be an app that would be able to cool down or heat up the car even before I got in. And now you can literally ask your Tesla to come out of its parking spot and head over to where you're at to meet you using the app. Well, this is it. All of them. Unless I missed one. In that case, definitely let me know in the comment section and let me know if you found any of them useful, cool, or weird. I'm looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time and remember to stay charged.
Take it